You know the snow will slowly melt, but my love will never die.
James A. Hendrickson. Missing since June 12, 1991. Missing from Tucson, Arizona. Classification endangered missing. Sex male, race white. Date of birth May 15, 1979. Age 12 years old. Height and weight 5 feet 5, 140 pounds. Clothing jewelry description: a white t-shirt with a design, blue shorts and white shoes. Distinguishing characteristics: Caucasian male. Blonde hair, blue eyes. James has a scar on the top of his head near his hairline. His nickname is Jimmy. James spent the night of June 11, 1991 at his babysitter's cousin's house in the 700 block of West Paris Promenade in Tucson, Arizona. His mother and sister went out of town and he chose not to go, but to stay with a babysitter instead. The babysitter let him stay the night at her cousin's house along with a 4-year-old nephew. The following morning, he said he was walking home. A witness saw James walking near Oracle Road and Grant Road. This was the final confirmed sighting of the child. James may have stopped at the 7-Eleven or Circle K convenience store in that vicinity before attempting to head to his home. He has never been seen again. James resided in the 200 block of East Delano Street in Tucson in 1991, and was scheduled to enter the 6th grade at Amphi Middle School in the autumn of that year. He did not have a history of running away from home, but he was considered a streetwise boy and the police initially believed he left of his own accord. The 4-year-old who was with James before he disappeared told police he knew where James was at. He said 2 bad men had come in, wrapped James in a blanket and taken him away to Mexico. The boy led them to the Santa Cruz River adjacent to a local sports park, and said that was where Mexico was. A search of the area turned up nothing, however. The babysitter's cousin had a criminal history, including allegations of sexual deviancy, and he failed a polygraph about James's disappearance, but he has never been charged. James's father lives in Michigan and had not contacted his son for several years prior to 1991. His mother left the state after her son's disappearance, but she's since returned and remains in touch with law enforcement. Foul play is suspected in his disappearance. News story from June 11, 2019. Sister of missing 12-year-old pleads for answers 28 years after his disappearance. James Hendrickson, better known as Jimmy, was reported missing on June 12, 1991. Jimmy was 12 years old at the time, and was known for his blue eyes and blonde hair. However, it was his humor that his sister, Tammy Taco, loved and remembers most. He liked to tell jokes, play jokes, it was never a dull moment when he was around, said Taco. Taco remembers the day she and her mom last saw her younger brother. Taco had just started dating a boy who had wanted she and her mom to go down to Douglas to meet his family. James Hendrickson, better known as Jimmy, was reported missing on June 12, 1991. Jimmy was 12 years old at the time, and was known for his blue eyes and blonde hair. However, it was his humor that his sister, Tammy Taco, loved and remembers most. He liked to tell jokes, play jokes, it was never a dull moment when he was around, said Taco. Taco remembers the day she and her mom last saw her younger brother. Taco had just started dating a boy who had wanted she and her mom to go down to Douglas to meet his family. Jimmy told Taco and her mom he didn't want to go with them, so they decided to let him stay behind with a trusted family friend, Angelica. We could still see him out of the back of the station wagon waving at us, in those red sweatpants. Who would have known that would be the last time we'd see him, said Taco. Taco said Jimmy and Angelica, the family friend, along with others, had gone to a football game at a local school that night. They had also gone to a barbecue, and later that night that trusted family friend had allowed Jimmy and another boy to sleep over with Angelica's cousin. So, I guess Angelica thought it was okay to let Jimmy and little Justin at the time go to her sister's house with this cousin, and they were going to fix a fence in the morning and she was going to go pick them up, Taco said. The next day, Jimmy was nowhere to be found. They did make a police report that day because he was 12 years old. Remember, it was 1991, he was considered a runaway, he wasn't even missing at that time, Taco said. Speaking through tears, Taco said one of the hardest parts for her was finding out about Jimmy's disappearance days after it had happened. She recalled exactly how she and her mom found out. We stopped at the Triple T parking lot and there was a payphone there and Mama said you call my job and tell them I'm just coming in. So I called housekeeping and Trish was her boss and I said, hey Trish, my mom's very nervous, we had the car breakdown, we're just getting into Tucson, she'll be there tomorrow. And she said, oh no, you haven't heard? Who have you called? We just called you, and she said Jimmy's missing, and we said what? She said Jimmy's missing, you need to come to me now, said Taco. After hearing what happened, Taco she said she and her mom rushed to talk to police. My mom got on her hands and knees and begged them to talk to her. She didn't care if a police officer came to talk to her, she needed someone to come to talk to her. No one came to talk to her, Taco said. Taco was 17 years old when her brother, Jimmy, went missing. She said she remembers having to grow up overnight. She said her mom wasn't much of a talker and she felt like she had to be the one to lead the search for Jimmy. I thought we were in a nightmare. I thought we were going to wake up from this and Jimmy was going to come home. All this was a nightmare, but we couldn't wake up from this because all of it was true, Taco said. Taco said she spent many days and nights wondering where her little brother was. Wondering what she could do to find him, searching for any sign of where he could be. Many times she said she pleaded with her mom for answers. Then your heart starts going, well, is he gone? And you look to your mom and you tell her, Mama, you know, if he's gone just tell us how you're feeling. So we know what to do with our emotions, and my mama lied to us for so many years. She said that she felt like he was out there and to keep searching for him and keep looking for him, she said. She said over the years her mom's struggle only continued to grow. She was trying to find him, she was crazy. She blamed herself for everything, and then she became psycho with us, like we couldn't go nowhere, we couldn't do nothing, Taco said. When Jimmy first disappeared back in 1991, police listed him as a runaway. Taco said foul play wasn't considered until much later. A year after Jimmy's disappearance, Taco said not much had changed when it came to finding Jimmy. No, there was no progress. We were just still doing vigils, candlelight vigils, and passing out flyers, she said. In 2016, 25 years after Jimmy had disappearance, Taco said she decided she wanted to take some action. She wanted to find out every single detail she could about what police knew when it came to her brother, so she went directly to police. I got that police report when Jimmy was 25 years missing, she said. I call it Jimmy's Bible because it's so thick and it has so much information in it. The police report is about 1 inch thick. It includes statements taken by Tucson Police Department officers, tips different people had called in, some of it from back in the day. Taco said when she first got her hands on the police report she couldn't get herself to read it, so her husband did. She said he suggested she take her time with it, because he knew there were some things in the report that would upset Taco, but despite that recommendation, she read it front to back and came to her own conclusions. I'm very upset because once you read that report you know Jimmy is no longer missing, you know he's been gone since that night that he disappeared. Taco said years ago a person told one of her kids they knew what happened to Jimmy. She said she met up with this person who told her that her brother was no longer alive. She said she asked this person to submit a tip to 88 Crime. She said not much ever came of this information. Taco said she's endured a lot during the last 28 years since Jimmy went missing. She said that while at first she truly believed Jimmy would come home, that mindset has definitely changed. He's not here, and he's not missing, he was never missing, he was already gone, said Taco. Now, Taco says she just prays for justice. She prays police get a big break and bring the person who she believes hurt her brother in, so she, her mom, and her brother can give Jimmy a proper place to rest. If you or anyone you know have any information relating to the disappearance of James Jimmy Hendrickson, who was reported missing on June 12, 1991, please call 88 Crime. News story from June 11, 2021. In depth, family keeps hope alive after 30 years. The disappearance of 12-year-old Jimmy Hendrickson continues. He went missing from a home near Prince and Stone Avenue on June 12, 1991. Tucson police first listed the case as a runaway. 1 year later it was assigned to a detective. That detective told the Digging Deeper team that he focused on the last person who was with Jimmy Hendrickson. Jimmy's mother and sister never imagined when they saw him, it would be the last time. The last time I saw Jimmy, he was waving out of a stupid car. It's not fair, he wasn't a runaway, Tammy Taco said while fighting back tears. Taco was just 17 years old. She and her mom went out of town. Jimmy chose not to go and stayed with a babysitter. a babysitter who let him spend the night at her cousin's house along with a 4-year-old nephew. She should not have given my child to someone else, Deborah Taco said. She added that not a day goes by she doesn't miss her son. I love him. Always did, she said. Marana Police Chief Ruben Nunez was the detective who worked the case. It's one of those cases that has haunted me these 30 years, Nunez said. He said he came up with the timeline, focused on the babysitter's relative who became a person of interest. I actually met him the night prior to Jimmy's disappearance, and then I focused on that individual, Nunez explained. According to Chief Nunez, that person had a checkered past. He had a sexual deviancy allegation lodged against him several years prior, Nunez said. That person had a warrant on an unrelated case and was questioned. I asked him if he was willing to take a polygraph test. He said he would, and he failed it, Nunez said. Nunez also questioned an acquaintance who was with the person of interest. He wasn't being truthful either, he added. Also, with Jimmy that night in the care of the person of interest, a 4-year-old boy told Nunez he could show him where Jimmy was at. He's in Mexico. I said what? Nunez explained. The boy said yeah, Jimmy is in Mexico. 2 bad men came in, wrapped him up in a blanket, took him out, and he's in Mexico. The boy with the parents' consent took Nunez and another detective to the sports park. They pull into the parking lot. The boy told them, keep going, and he leads us to the Santa Cruz River which adjoins the sports park. He says, over there, that's where Mexico is at. Nunez added, they searched the area and found nothing. Jimmy's sister is certain that the person of interest knows something. I just want a family member to come forward, she said. It would be so nice to bring peace to the family, the former detective added. So, the family gathered in a circle like they do every year and pray. Even though it's been 3 decades, Tucson police said they are not giving up. This case is still being investigated. Today James has been missing for 34 years. James' photo has shown age progressed to 43 years. He was 12 years old when he was last seen. James has a scar on the top of his head near his hairline. Foul play is suspected. Anyone with information please call Tucson Police Department, Arizona, 1-520-791-5159.
Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off best friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone.